Hello everyone, this is Hoda Ganji. In this video, we're going to talk about transform, selection, and visibility in Rhino. You remember that we have the zoom extent option. I'm going to right click here. So in Rhino, when we say transform, we mean move, copy, rotate, and so on. Okay, so let's say I want to move this object. I want to type M. You know that M works here because I imported the shortcuts of AutoCAD into the aliases of Rhino. Okay, I did in the last video. So I want to move this item. I want to get it from here. You need to have those snaps on and the end should have been checked. I want to move it here and I can put it everywhere, right? So let's say I want to move it to this point, which is 0, 0, right? So when I'm still inside the move option, I need to type 0, comma 0, and it's going to move it exactly to 0, 0, right? Let's say this time I want to move it from this point by like 5 meters on this side and 3 meters up. You need to put the R, then 5 comma 3. So R 5 comma 3, it means that the relative distance is 5 horizontally and 3 on the Y side. So I'm gonna click enter. Now the box is moved by 5 units on the X direction and 3 units on the Y direction, right? So these are like horizontal moves. If you want to move something vertically, you can do it either in one of the sections, or you can do it here in the perspective section. I can go with move, and you can go with vertical, and we can go with vertical. Yes, I want to move them from here to here, or I want to move them again from here to 0. And now they are actually moved up, and they're starting from 0 on the elevation. Let's also talk a little bit about selection. The selection items are here. You can just click here on this item for select all, but that's not all. Let's say if I click here and click on this little thing, I can go with select none, or you can just select them and click somewhere else. It's gonna deselect them. Let's say I have selected this one and I want to select the other 2 cubes. I can go there and I can go with invert selection, and it's gonna invert the selection. Now let me add one more object here, and that's the last object that I have on the scene. So if I go here, there is an option to select the last created object. If I click on this one, it's going to select only the last object. Let's say now I want to copy these 3 objects. I can just copy them using the command CO space. I can copy them here. Notice that there is also an option when I type CO to copy in place, right? So if I go with in place, it's actually copied one object on itself, right? So that's why you see when I click on this one, there is only one item, but when I click on this one, it shows me 2 items from the selection menu, which means I have 2 objects on top of each other. Another selection item is a select by window. So you know that you can just draw a window from right to left, and it's going to select any object which is cut in that window. But if I draw a window from left to right, even if it cuts the second object, it's going to select only the objects which are entirely in that window. Okay, so when you select something using draw a window, it's important whether you go from right to left or from left to right. Some other selection objects that we're going to use in future are the items here. We can select dimensions, select text blocks, we can select like surfaces, poly surfaces, meshes, points, lines, and these are very useful items that we're going to use in future. We can also select by ID. The next thing I want to talk about is the visibility. So you can actually hide the objects from here by selecting them. You can unhide them from here You can select only a few of them and go with like invert selection and hide objects. It means that it's going to keep these items and it's going to hide everything else, right? So this is going to be a useful item. Also, we do have invert selection and lock the objects, right? This is also interesting. In this case, it's gonna lock everything else except for these three. So I'm gonna go with invert selection and lock objects. You see these are now locked. I cannot select them, but those three elements are still selectable and they're not locked. If you want to unlock them, you can just unlock them from here and select these items, hit enter, and it's gonna unlock them. Let's lock a few of these items again. So if you have a number of objects hidden, you can go to unlock selected objects, and maybe you can only unlock like one or two of them. You can hold Control, select, hold Shift, select that one, and we can hit space again. And now you see that two of the locked objects are still locked, but the other two are unlocked.